leadership role pretty much the whole time, either as an agent service coordinator, market center tech trainer, productivity coach. Back in the day, we were called tech ambassadors when Command was first being built before it was launched. And then most recently, the past year, a KW approved trainer, which has been probably one of my greatest passions, is being able to be here in front of folks like you and share just skills, knowledge, and all the above. That part of me started early. I've got about 2 decades in the fire service as a volunteer firefighter. I went in at the age of 16. During that time, I became a, well, I tell you this for a slide that's coming up later is why I share this. I went from just basic recruit school to be able to ride fire trucks, 32 hours of training, up to a firefighter 3, a nationally registered EMT, confined space rescue, technical rescue, trench collapse rescue, structural collapse rescue, rope rescue, technical rope rescue, and even achieved a state fire instructor certification. So I think that training and that learning base for me has been, it's always been part of me, and I really love giving it back to folks like yourself. So tonight, we're going to start with sparking your career. It's about getting your career going. I'm going to stick to mostly the standard KW stuff. However, I have added a couple things to this that I've picked up over the years that I think are going to be a huge asset to you guys, okay? So we are talking tonight about sparking your career. And then keep in mind, we're not doing this directly in order when we do the classes. So tonight we're going to be doing spark your career and then connecting with your market. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. There are some tech pieces in here. I'm going to mention them. I'm not going to get deep into them. Oh, and by the way, if you like tonight, I will be launching the tech session this Thursday, and we'll be back Thursday to teach again. So if nobody shows up, I know why. It's not the technology. So inside of KW, we talk a lot. We have a very big mindset on very big conversations and training around mindset. Everything is about your mindset and making sure that your mindset is where it needs to be. So how do you guys feel overall about your mindset right now? Where are you at in your business? Do you feel like you're in it, you're out of it, you're half in, you're half out? Who wants to share something?
I'm a new agent. This is Makisha McCoy, Keller Williams, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hey,
So
Makisha,
I'm just
how are you?
I'm great, Matt. Thank you. I'm just trying to get, the knowledge, the technology down pack. It's a lot to take in. And try to figure out how Command can assist me with generating leads. That's where I am.
Okay. All right. Then you're going to be back Thursday with me. That's what I'm
going to be here all week with you, Matt.
Okay. I ain't going to be here all week. That's a lot.
Well, I will be here.
Alec, yes, these are recorded. They're going to be shared out to the brokerages through a YouTube channel at a later date. They will be done fairly frequently. That's not like this going to be a long turnaround. So you will have access to these. I see somebody put in the chat, stressed. Tracy, I don't know. Oh, you didn't know it would be this hard. I need to read it. So Tracy, would you share with me like what makes it hard for you, if you don't mind me asking? And Catherine and Chris, I see your hands up too. So just give me a sec. If you can come off mute. And keep in mind, I've got, like I said, almost 200 people in here, so I'm monitoring the chat and everything else. So
I'm off mute.
Go ahead. What you got for me?
So I am also a dual career agent, and for a short time, I was full-time, but with the economy changing, rising pressure with bills and that cost of everything going up being pushed to consumers, I had to go back to full-time. So now I'm dual career. And sometimes I feel like my attention is a little bit divided. So I feel like I'm a little stagnant. I think Tanisha mentioned being stagnant as well. So I need to refocus And that's the main reason why I'm here. And I'm committed to being here to ensure that I reignite my passion and really get myself back on track.
I love it. And I appreciate that. That's exactly the goal behind this entire program, is to get you guys either back engaged or just to get you engaged. So, Catherine, I saw your hand up. I want to go to you real quick, and then Chris, and then we're going to jump into some stuff.
Hi, I am Catherine Keller Williams, Prairie View First Choice location. I am trying to find my way. I think with me, it's more so, I guess I won't know until this summer. I'm a school teacher and my last day is Thursday. So I've had one closing. I have 3 under contract right now. And I'm still lost because everybody say, "Oh, you're doing so well," but I'm so lost. I'm so lost. I'm playing it as I go, but I have noticed. I've recently joined a team like maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's more helpful than anything. So if anybody like, and I'm not gonna say just based off of my experience, joining a team it's like I have hands to help every way. So that's been the best part for the last 2 weeks for me.
All right. I like it. Congratulations on what you have going as transactions, right? So you are killing it because you're doing something, because there's a lot of people that aren't doing anything and they're feeling even in a different place than you. And it's okay to feel that way. The challenge is for us to not to stay in those places. It's okay to be down. It's okay to feel like we're not doing something. You need to be there for a short period of time, and then you need to bring yourself out of it. It's a lot about mindset. I actually have 2 videos I'm going to share with you guys that I think are going to absolutely be pivotal for all of you right now, based what I'm seeing in the chat and based on what you guys have shared. Chris, I'm going to go to you real quick, and then we're going to jump into this.
Yeah, kind of like others were saying, a little overwhelmed. I am dual career as well. Like you, firefighter, full-time firefighter. I'm jumping from classes like this month, VMO, ATF, just try and juggle all that and try to keep up with enough hours invested into the actual studying as an agent and just learning and trying to get my own place and try and learn as much as I can while trying to put in offers. Just yeah, a little overwhelming, I guess.
Chris, where are you on the job at?
North suburbs of Chicago, so Winnetka.
Oh, my hero. If you're in Chicago, that's it. You're done. That's it. I should come up and see you. That's all I'm gonna say. Just me do a ride along. Yeah. So dual career is your biggest challenge. It really is going to come down to a calendar for you guys. So everything you're going to see that I'm going to go over tonight, if there's anything you take away, it's about controlling your time and controlling your calendar. And it's about being purposeful. All right. Figuring out what it is, where you are, where you want to build, you want to be, and build that plan to that. And that's actually what tonight's really all about. Okay. So let me get into some of this. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you? This is a question that you need to be asking yourself on a regular basis of not only where am I, what am I doing, how do I feel? It's anyone can do it, right? Anyone can do this. It's the question is, are you willing to put in the time for it? Okay. This is why this video I'm going to play for you guys next is so crucial to that thought process and some of the other stuff we're going to go over tonight. So I'm going to hit play on this. Somebody just throw a hand up or nod to me. I want to make sure you hear the sound on this when it gets started. Okay.
So many years ago, when I was 19 years old, I had a meeting with a man that I'd never met before that was introduced to me by my brother. And this man was very successful financially, with his family, as a philanthropist, as a businessman. And he asked me one question that defined the trajectory of my life. And the question he asked me was I interested in achieving?
Uh-oh. I promise it works. me do this. I'm gonna start that over for you guys. It'll work better this time. I had to make an adjustment to my share.
19 years old. I had a meeting with a man that I'd never met before that was introduced to me by my brother. And this man was very successful financially, with his family, as a philanthropist.
I tested everything I promised. Don't you love technology at its best when it wants to work?
As a businessman. And he asked me one question that defined the trajectory of my life. And the question he asked me was I interested in achieving my life's goals and dreams, or was I committed to achieving them? And he said, if I was interested, I would do what's convenient, but if I was committed, I would do whatever it takes. And Mr. Alan Brown said to me, he says, John, he says, if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. You'll believe your stories and excuses, and you'll continue to be a victim of your current reality and circumstances. You'll come up with all the reasons why you can't achieve those goals, and that's what you will be focusing on for the rest of your life. He said, and the big difference is if you're committed, you'll start today to let go of your stories, your excuses, your reasons why you're achieving your certain results right now, and why you can't achieve any of those goals and dreams you wrote down on this piece of paper. He said, if you're committed, you'll upgrade your knowledge. If you're committed, you'll upgrade your skills. If you're committed, you'll come in every single day and figure out how you can achieve those goals and why you must versus why you can't and why you won't. And after he explained the difference between interest and commitment to me, I put my hand out and I shook his hand and I said, Mr. Brown, I'm committed. Now, I was scared shitless to say that I'm committed because I had to let go of all of my reasons why I couldn't achieve my goals and dreams. And the very act of writing my goals and then saying to him and then to myself, make a commitment to myself to be committed, I started to achieve the financial and life goals and dreams that I wrote down on that piece of paper. And not only did I achieve every one of those, I way exceeded every single goal. That's when my whole life changed. One commitment, one moment in my life, I said that I was committed to my financial and health and relationship and career and business and charitable goals and the travel goals and the health goals I had. I was committed to all my goals. He said, great. Well, the first action steps towards commitment is to develop a plan for how you're going to actually achieve those goals. So here's my question for you. Are you interested in achieving your financial and health and relationships and career and business goals and your travel goals, or are you committed? Now, if you're committed, here's what I'd like you to do. Take a sheet of paper and write down one.
So I'm going to pause right there because he said take out a sheet of paper. For those that you might want to write this down, I'm going to give you guys a second to take out a sheet of paper because he's going to give you some stuff here that is actually pretty good stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't put this video in here. And these are things you want to like talk to yourself about and ask your questions about. So, Desiree, I cannot enable notes. It's not my account. I'm not in charge of it. And I will, at some point, I'll grab the Zoom link and drop in the chat for you guys if you want to go back and watch this later on, because this is a really good one. I actually watch this on quite frequently, matter of fact, and I've actually implemented this particular video into Win with Buyers, Win with Sellers, and some other KW courses, because one of the key things that we need to focus on, again, is our mindset, like we were talking about earlier. So, all right, you guys ready?
One goal for every area of your life: health, wealth, relationships, career, business, charitable. And write down one goal and when you want to achieve it by. And then what I want you to do is write down 3 action steps that you can take towards achieving those. Take a sheet of paper
I'm gonna back that
and
up
write
just for a
down
second.
one goal for every area of your life: health, wealth, relationships, career, business, charitable. And write down one goal and when you want to achieve it by. And then what I want you to do is write down 3 action steps that you can take towards achieving those goals. Write down, what do you need to learn? What do you need to believe? What do you need to do? Take those things, put those right on your calendar with a time by which you are going to complete those things. And if you can do that for each one of your goals, if you can focus on the goal you want to achieve, 3 action items towards achieving those goals, and a specific timeline by when you're going to achieve it by, you are going to be the type of person that achieves your goals and dreams versus the person who hopes and prays and wishes that those goals and dreams become a reality. The person who achieves goals and dreams takes consistent daily, weekly, monthly actions towards those goals and dreams. And they don't allow their stories or their excuses or the reasons or circumstances to hold them back. They are committed to achieving their goal no matter what. That's the attitude. That's the mindset that you have to have. And you have to have absolute resolve that you will do whatever it takes. So, are you interested or are you committed?
So what do you guys think?
It sounds good, Matt, but implementing that plan and actually sticking to it is kind of difficult.
Okay, tell me more. Why do you say that?
Just like Mona indicated, you know, in the beginning, working a full-time job, doing real estate part-time, family, you know, things going on, it's just kind of hard to hit each goal.
Okay. So how do we hit those goals? That's the key question. That's where this comes from, is hitting those goals. And without a plan, a written plan, we're not going to hit those goals. And that's the key takeaway. You're absolutely correct. If you listen to what John said earlier on in this video, is if you're interested, you're going to allow the reasons you are not hitting those goals to stay in the forefront, and they're going to prevent you from hitting the goals. Once you let go of those and start actually focusing on the goals and setting the times, putting them on your calendar and making them happen, that's when you're going to achieve them. We all have life. We all have different challenges. Yet without a plan, then we are not going to achieve anything. Miss Reed, you have your hand up.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to comment. So this is my take on it. And, you know, I've done sales before in insurance. I've done Mary Kay. Mary Kay was actually very successful. But it's just, I think the point of setting the goals is to find out what you want to do and how you want to get there. Because, you know, the divide is not the when so much, but the how. And just like when I get on a treadmill, you know, sometimes I say, oh, I want to run 2 miles and I can't make 2 miles. So I change my goals and I break them up, and I build and condition myself. And I think that is the key, is conditioning your mind now. So, you know, in physical things, we have to condition our bodies, but we have to condition our minds.
That's what this is all about. Thank you. And I have to agree. It's about your mindset. And those are some of the things we're going to talk about. Tanisha.
Just to piggyback off of what she says, and also everything like that we're discussing now, that's what I'm on. Like the mind frame is everything. And we do use our excuses to say, all right, you know what, because of this, I'm not going to get it done. But discipline and really telling yourself and rewriting what you're telling yourself, or rewiring what you're telling yourself, so your body can actually move with your actual thoughts is the main thing. So first of all, stop telling yourself the story that you can't, and tell yourself that you can, because like we show up for our jobs, we got to show up for, when we get our kids, we got to show up for everybody else. But if we want to accomplish certain goals in life, then we got to show up just the same. So that's what I take away from that video the most, is to stop telling yourself that. And I literally had to go through that for the past like couple months, and that's why I'm in a restart stage, because I was giving myself excuses, and I gave myself so many excuses, and then it's like, okay, a year has passed and nothing is really has been done, what I wanted done. So instead of me giving myself excuses, start to tell myself I can do this. And it really works, because is like self-affirmations, all of that. The mental really is the beginning stage of everything. It really is.
I'm going to give you another video shortly that's going to say exactly what you said, just a little bit different. And then I think that video is going to help this video, and between the two of them, they're going to stand out to you guys. I find them to be, I saw somebody put in the chat, best advice ever. It really comes down to mindset. So that's where we're at on this. The Ignite program is a key basic program that KW offers, KWU and KW University offer. So is 6 Personal Perspectives. And inside the 6 Personal Perspectives, we talk about things like that. The first step in this is committing to self-mastery. Know your goals. That's pretty much what John said in a video. You got to know your goals. We have to know our strengths and our weaknesses as well. I've never been a fan of weaknesses, of that term. I've never been able to find a better one. Yet know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses, because none of your weaknesses are weaknesses per se. It's acknowledging where you're not strong, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to look at all the people over here. Where are my tech gurus that absolutely love technology, commands a joke, you can do it all day long and it's no big deal? Right, I didn't see any hands go up. Cool. So the rest of you, though, what can you do to leverage it? So how can you take something that isn't your forte? It's not something that you're like, this is amazing and I love it, yet I know I got to do it for my business. So recognizing that it's not your thing and giving it to somebody else and leveraging it out is the way to use those strengths and those weaknesses. So you all right now, 196 of you have committed to self-mastery because you're here. And as long as you stay with this every day and every week and do the activities that are related to the program and what needs to happen, then you're going to have a difference. Because it takes time to make a change in your mindset, who are my exercisers? Who's like, I'm going to go exercise and I'm going to get so fit and all that because summer's coming, right? I saw Annie raise her hand. She's like, me, right? It doesn't happen overnight. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and go, here I am. I've done it. I'm here. No, I got to get up and go to the gym every day. That's no different than what your job is here. You're committed to that. Who's ever gotten up in the morning? Who has kids? Right? Who's ever gotten up in the morning and went, yeah, I'm not taking them to school. They like, come on, stay home. We're going to go get ice cream. It doesn't happen because you're committed to them. The challenge we have as adults more than anything is, when's the last time you're committed to yourself? And it's okay to be committed to yourself. And that's what I want you to take away from that right now. Okay. Committing to the 80-20 principle. Who knows what the 80-20 principle is? Who's ever seen it, heard it, or understands? Anybody's in sales probably should, right? As he does, right? It's like, me, are you eating a lollipop or just chewing on a pen? Like, now I'm just curious. Oh, okay. I was getting jealous. Like, if you got lollipops and you're not sharing, we got a problem. 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results. So the question I want you to ask yourselves, are you busy or are you making busy? What does that mean? Are you busy or are you making busy? And what I said earlier, I'll stand here in silence and sip my drink while you guys Rosella.
I just turn everything back on and off. So I feel like I'm making busy myself. But one thing is like the level of caliber or the extent to which you want to do certain activities. So for me, like, yes, we all have to, you know, manage dual careers, families, cooking, cleaning, all of our chores. But like one example is like, okay, well, you have to manage cooking. Can you meal prep? Do you have to cook a gourmet meal every night? Can you do a carry out something? Cleaning, do you have to have all of your laundry done immediately? Can you dry clean any of those services? Like, how are you making busy? Like, you can either cut some things down, say some things are not priority, or you can outsource it, which is a lot of what we're probably going to be talking about. But it's how busy do you want to be?
So I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's not so much about the outsourcing as much as about you doing what you said. How are you balancing your life right now? And then how are you going to add real estate to the mix? And where are you going to find the time? Because it's not a factor of I don't have the time. It's a factor of are you making the time? So are you busy or are you making busy? So when it comes to your real estate business, one of the examples that I use often is who's got a website or let me ask this because some of you are still really new. Who wants a nice, pretty website? Like I want this glitzy, amazing website that's going to be awesome. And he's just like, I'm raising my hand for everything because I'm in for the long haul and I appreciate it. Here's the deal. Is that website going to generate you business? It can, don't get me wrong. Yet the amount of time you're spending on that and you're sitting there going, oh, I did this today. I did this today. Was it anything that led to you having business? So are you sitting around spending 3 hours building a flyer? Or are you spending around 3 hours playing with a website that you're not even ready to implement and use type situation? So make sure you're focused on the 20% that's getting you to those goals. John was talking about that video. Is the activity equaling the result of those goals and getting you closer to those goals? The next is moving from E to P. Every one of us is entrepreneurial every minute of every day. How many of you wake up? I'm looking at the screen now. How many of you wake up every day with a written plan of action of a list of things that you know you need to accomplish, you're going to accomplish? I saw Ben quickly go, I do. Right? Jane, you do? Or you have something else you want to add?
No, I do have a plan of action.
Go ahead. All right, so you got a plan of action. Kelly, you got a plan of action?
Yep.
Okay. So if we have that plan, well, let me ask you two, one of you two, if you want to share, what's the difference between having that plan every day to not having that plan every day? Well, how's your day look in any given moment when you don't have that plan in place and when you do? Or anyone else that has a plan in place that wants to share? Kelly says unfocused.
Yeah,
Jane, what do you say?
I feel like I'm behind when I don't have that plan.
Now understand there's a difference between a checklist and a plan. Because a checklist is my keeping busy. It's a making busy. I got a checklist, and if I get to it, if I don't get to it, I'm not going to be upset about it. The things that need to be in the plan are if I don't get to it, then I don't earn the next thing or I don't get to where I want to go, right? I'm going to go back to exercise because it's probably one of the most common things. You don't earn dessert or your cheat day or whatever your plan is in your exercise routine. You don't earn those until you achieve the other stuff. I hit the gym 4 times this week. I increased my weights. I put an extra mile on the bike or the treadmill. Like whatever those goals were for that week, you don't earn that cheat or whatever it is, right? Until you get that. And I bet you if you all stop and think about your current jobs, you don't get something until you achieve something. So why is it easier for you to be purposeful at your current job instead of in real estate? Does that make sense? Think about it. Our goal, we get up every day and we live this entrepreneurial life. We get up, we do some activities, we go here, we go there. and then we kind of fall off, and then we pick it back up again. We're always riding this roller coaster. We hit that ceiling of achievement and we stop, right? I'm guilty, right? This weekend I had stuff that I kind of want to look. I got the grass cut. I'm happy. That's it. I got the grass cut. I didn't get anything else done. Laundry still piled up. I ain't get anything done, but that was it. Yet if I would have gotten up at 6 o'clock like I do with the dogs and fed the dogs and immediately started the laundry and doing all that, I would have had a more purposeful day. I would have finished my day feeling much more accomplished and better about myself. And then how am I going to go into my next day? How am I going to bed? I'm sure everyone's read those relationship books where it's like never go to bed angry. I'm going to tell you, never go to bed disappointed in what your activities were for the day. Nick.
Yeah, you know, reading this and listening to this, it makes me think of things that I've learned like in the past and other trainings and stuff. Is that I think sometimes we get it wrong. I think sometimes we wait around for motivation, and then that leads to satisfaction, that leads to momentum. But you know, yet in fact, like the motivation comes from taking the action, right? So I guess, you know, like using the exercise as an example, like the momentum and the satisfaction might not come when you're on the treadmill. It really comes when you put out your running shoes the night before. You know, it's the small, and I think we need to give ourselves some credit, you know, to say it's it's thinking big and acting small, right? Planning out your clothes for the next day, writing your top 5 must-do things the night before, you know. Don't feel like you have to go from 0 to 100, right? It's not, if you're doing no lead generation, going to 20 contacts might not be the move. Maybe you go to 5 contacts for a period of time, right? Get up off the couch.
So,
you know.
Go ahead, finish your thought. I don't want to interrupt. I had something to add to it.
No, 100%. I'm just saying, yeah, let's get some momentum, let's get some stamina, and then you can raise the bar and you know, raise your expectations of yourself. But until then, let's think big, act small, dominoes will fall.
That's it. So we got a couple bold laws around this. Okay. One of them is don't compare your insides to somebody else's outsides. You're sitting here as a dual career agent and you're looking at other agents in your market center and other agents on the internet. By the way, everybody knows that the internet's just a front, right? All these social media platforms, a lot of these people probably are not doing as good as they look, yet you think they are. Guess what? Join that wagon and start doing things on the internet that make it look like you're killing it. Other people might want to talk to you. You're going to generate some business that way, right? Also, don't let those people beat you down of like, oh my God, look at what they did. Oh, I wish I could do that. Stop saying I wish I could do it and just go and do it. And Nick, I appreciate what you said. Instead of having that goal, if I'm going to have 20 contacts this week, I just want 5, right? I just want 5. Like what's for those of you or any of you that know somebody, I'm not going to judge anybody in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's dieting, drinking, whatever it might be. What's the fastest way or the easiest way? Really, it's not always the fastest, but what's the easiest way to make a change? Focus on today. Today, I'm not going to eat that cake. Today, I'm not going to have a beer. Today, I'm going to go for a walk. I don't care if I just walk out the door, walk to the corner and come back. I did it. And I need to celebrate and recognize those wins because those are the things that are going to change the mindset. And they're going to take me from that entrepreneurial to purposeful. Because if I do that for a week, I did this about 2 years ago. And then I hurt my ankle and I haven't gotten back into it. I just wanted to go for a walk one day. I don't walk my dogs enough. They hate me for it, but I play with them often in the yard. I decided to take the dogs out one day. I ended up going that year. And I went from just walking around the block to where the dogs and I were up at 5:30 in the morning, walking 2 miles every morning to the point where I was walking again at night. And I was averaging about 40 miles a week just walking. Now, that was mostly by myself because the old one here, he's only good for about 2 miles. The other one's not smart enough to realize after 5, she should stop. She will just go until she falls over. But Annie.
I was just gonna comment because I was actually listening to the Millionaire.
Carolinas are in the house, by the way. I'm just letting y'all know.
For sure. Anyway, I was listening to the book on Audible this morning while I was at the gym, And it reminded me of the story of the fella who did the Miracle Mile, and he paced himself and he was doing like a quarter of a mile and a quarter of a mile and a quarter of a mile until he built up to be able to break that record. So I thought that
1%
was,
better every day.
yeah, I thought that was pretty valid to all of this conversation. It just reminded me of that.
Desiree gave you the okay sign, by the way. She agrees, approval. But that's what it's about. It's about being 1% better every day. That's the entrepreneurial about. All right. Being focused, having the models, having the systems, then you break through your ceiling of achievement. Because I promise you, you guys are waking up, and it's no judgment. I do it. We all do it. Gary does it. Everybody does it to a point, and it's not living in that space that gets us out of it. We all have our days where we get up and we just go. Like I said, I cut the grass and I was done. I was happy. I got that done. Right. I've been getting a lot of rain here in Maryland, so I was super happy to get that out of the way. And I didn't care about anything else. Right. Yet, if I would have had a different mindset, I would have done a lot more over my weekend and I would have felt better about myself. There's a MAPS coach. I recommend you all go to look up online. He does have a YouTube channel. His name is Jordan Freed. Freed, Freed, and he does a motivational video. I think it's every Monday or every Wednesday or something. I think it's only once a week. You got to go back and look. He's got one that he talks about, and this exactly what we're talking about here fits this. And he talks about, Nick, you hit it, which really made me think about it. And he talks about how, you can have 5 minutes of pleasure or 5 hours of pain. And one of those examples he gave, and we can do it with lead generation. We can do it with learning the technology. We can do it with attending classes. We can do it with anything. His example was you go out to eat and I was like, I want the burger. I want the burger. Like that just looks amazing. I want the burger. You sit down and you have that burger. And for that 5 minutes, you're like, oh my God, that was great. But the rest of the night, you're kicking yourself. You're regretting it. Remember I talked about the cheat aspect, right? Oh my God, why did I do that to myself? So there's that remorse and that regret. Yet if you would have gone out to eat and been like, you know what? I'm just going to get the salad. I'm just going to get the salad. And you kind of suffer through it. It's kind of a, bad way to look at it. Yet, come on, I'd rather have the burger myself, right? I'm a cheeseburger in paradise kind of guy. I'm going to eat that salad. And Nick, I think you got that. I appreciate that agreement right there. I think with what I just said. All right, good deal. I'm going to eat that salad, but here's the difference. When I leave that restaurant and I get home, guess what I'm going to do? Oh, man, I feel so much better. I am so glad I did that because I'm not feeling bloated. I'm not feeling down. So you got to treat yourself the same way when it comes to your business. Fair? Yes, Jordan Freed, Lori. That's it. Jordan's got some really great stuff. And that one that I watched that one time, one of my team leaders, it's her coach, and she shares some of the stuff from time to time. And the one he shared is very purposeful for this. All right, make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan. So this has a bunch of different ways. You've probably seen it. This is closed mind versus open mind, growth mindset versus not growth mindset, ignorance-based, learning-based, however you want to look at it. I know what I know, and I don't care about anything else that goes on out there, right? I know how to do this, and that's all that matters. Or you're going to have the mindset of, I know what I know, and there's so much more that I want to know. So for the, 200 people that are on this call right now, you guys are in learning base right now because you know what you know, but you also know there's more that you can learn. Keeping that mindset and keeping that open is one of the best things you can do. Books at this point, I'll give you some book references here. Carol Dweck. I might actually have that in that drawer. Carol Dweck does, I'll think of it. Hold on. I got it on Audible. I'll tell you. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the book, and as soon as I see it, I'm going to go, that's it. Mindset. Carol Dweck, she's a PhD. She does a book. It's called Mindset, the new Psychology of Success. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what it looks like right there. It's an easy read. If you're a book listener, put it on like 1.25, 1.5. You can zip right through it. It's great. And then the other one that I would recommend that's very, very similar to it is Shawn Achor, The Happiness Advantage. And it looks like that. I think they're both I think the message is identical. They're just said in a different way. And we have multiple learning bases. Some of you are like, this is great lecture time. Some of you want to engage. Some of you want hands-on, like we all have different learning. They both fit together very well. So I would encourage you to listen to those because that's all about mindset. Who's seen Ted Lasso? I had this thought earlier. Anyone seen that Ted Lasso movie? Okay, I've never seen the movie. I've just seen the clips on TikTok, right? And I love the bar scene where he's playing darts and he talks about, I was taking my son to school and I saw this quote by Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental. This Albert Einstein was the same thing. I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am very, very curious. As soon as you stop being curious, you stop learning, you stop growing. And the number one thing you need to do in this business is to constantly be curious and wanting to learn and grow. Because I promise you, what I've learned is that you do not know it all. And you're never going to know it all. There's going to be things you know, and there's going to be things you learn on a regular basis. And it's wonderful to have that happen. Nick, I saw your hand up. Do you have something you want to put in there real quick before I play this video?
Yeah, no, real quick. Just wanted to reference a couple of podcasts. I know you hit on some books. Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, they came out with Think Like a CEO. I believe it was over the pandemic. The most recent episode was in 2023, so it is timeless. And like what changed my life, not to be dramatic, but what changed my like trajectory is one of the episodes. It's where like health, wealth, fulfillment, it's an internal to external journey. And if you run around chasing untold amounts of money or untold amounts of transactions or deals or whatever, then you'll never have enough. And you'll always be chasing something that you'll never arrive at, which, Matt, to your point a few minutes ago about mindset, setting goals, timeline associated with those goals. But it's just the point of like, it's internal to external.
There you go.
Great podcast.
That's it.
They're 30, 45 minutes. That's it.
And you just fed right into this slide about removing limiting beliefs. Angel, the second book is The Happiness Advantage, Shawn Achor. Anchor, I forget how you say his last name, but just look at The Happiness Advantage. It's got a smiley face on it. They're both really good books. They're short reads. But it's all about the mindset, which leads into this about removing our limiting mindset. We got done the video that I played for you guys and heard some people giving the limiting beliefs of, well, it is hard. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you need to stop saying it that way. We have to find a different way to look at it and a different way to say it. Because what we tell ourselves, and here's the funny part, what we tell ourselves is what we do, right? There's another bold law, and it is our cells eavesdrop on our thoughts. So if we're thinking it, our body's going to react to it. If you think you're unfit and you're unhealthy, guess what? I'm sure a lot of you probably heard it when you're sick. Stop telling yourself you're sick because you're just going to get sicker. If you believe you're healthy, you're healthy. It makes a difference to your mindset and your body, right? The same thing applies to your life every single day. So making sure that we have the positive mindset is important. However, let me ask this question, because the next video I want to play is going to ask you this question. Hold on. Yeah, change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. Bold law. Thank you, Lydia. That's one of my favorite ones. Actually, one of my favorite ones I use all the time. I haven't used with you guys yet, and you actually all did it after the first video. Reasons or results, you can't have both. In short, that was that video. Are you interested or are you committed? Because you can have reasons or you can have results. Which one do you want? Matter of fact, everything about this is probably going to be about you can have reasons or results. Right now, none of you have a reason because you're here. You're seeking results. So congratulations to all of you for that. All right, another video for you. Again, my one team leader, she just crushes it with these videos. It's absolutely freaking crazy. And before you all leave tonight, I will grab the links and put them into the chat for you, I promise. Somebody remind me in case I get, my old age kicks in. Come on, video. It's thinking. This one's shorter. I promise it won't hurt as much as the last one did. slideshow wants to act up. She love Google. Here we go. Here we go.
I will ask crowds this. Which do you think is more important? More positive thinking or less negative thinking? And I say, this is not a trick question. And I'll let them wrestle with that for a little bit. And for the group that we're talking to today, it's a very provocative question. Which is more important? Where do you get the most mileage? More positive thinking or less negative thinking?
Before he answers that, what do you guys think? Where you get more benefit? I see in the chat a less negative thinking. You guys less negative or more positive? Which one benefits you the most? Boy, look at all these smart people in here. Oh, look at this. Ooh, I like it. We're getting 50-50 now. Okay. All right. You guys are going to like this then.
And the studies are unequivocal. It's less negative thinking. Now, the thing that gets us tangled up is that I guess pretty much all of us think of it as, okay, you've got this linear scale here, you know, and we'll say at the high end, the good end is optimism, and at the low end is pessimism, negative thinking. Well, studies show that they're actually two different scales.
Really?
And this is just fascinating to me. Positive thinking is important. And keep it up, keep it high. But if you want to get your real knowledge, just cut down on the negative thinking. Cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. That's the villain voice. That's the critic in your head. That's the demotivator. That's the discounter. That's the one that raises the doubts. And you can shut it up. It takes practice. It takes some discipline. But people say, well, I think I'm aware of my negative thinking, but they're not. About 70% of our negative thinking goes unperceived by us. It is so embedded in our day-to-day behavior. We're not even aware of it. About 70%. It is so much just ingrained in the way we go about living.
It's habitual thing.
Yes, and so let me tell you how it shows up. I'll talk about the 5 C's, the sneak attack of the 5 C's. Okay, the first one is complaining, grapping. You know, it's too hot in Dallas. Well, it is, but that's not going to change if I gripe about it. Okay, so the first one is complaining. The next one's criticizing. Well, the grid went down today in Texas. We had brownouts. My air conditioners, you know, and there's always someone to criticize. So we've got complaining, we've got criticizing. Next one is concern. And I'm not talking about being empathic here and having concern for some other person. I'm talking about garden variety worrying. I'm concerned about this. Well, I'm concerned about inflation. Well, I'm concerned about, you know, the news. All right. The next one is commiserating. We come in and I sit down with this person and they start their C's, their C talk. And I say, I get it, man. Yeah, I understand. I'm not doing anybody any good. When I start commiserating, I'm not doing anyone any good. It's destructive to both of us. And then the last one is catastrophizing, which is just when you're really down and you just blow things all out of proportion. But those things sneak in. If you start watching people, watching ourselves, how much we do this, and of course, we're surrounded by so much negativity. You know, you listen to the news, you get on social media, and on and on and on. I will ask crowds this. Which do you think is more important?
All right, what do you guys think? I gotta get that slide moved along. There we go. Thoughts? Yeah, I will put the links in there before we're done. I like Jerry, I love how you said he's genius. I think that's hilarious. Who's got some insight on this? Does this help the first video? Does this make like does the two of them together like, I get it. Rosella, what you got?
I just think that the fact that he says that they're two different scales, that positive and negativity are two different scales, was like huge for me, because I think a lot of time we think that everything is all one, but really when he says you're playing in two different scales, we're really playing in two different realms. And I'm a spiritual person, but a lot of times like you can say that like that voice of criticism or complaining or whatever, it's the devil's voice, or somebody who wants bad for you, or any of whatever you want to personify it. And it truly is like, if you can make it like a white and black and say it's two different scales, I was like, wow, that just makes all sense in the world with how I think of the universe.
I watched it twice before I got that. I've
Yeah.
watched that video probably a dozen times. Are you interested? Are you committed? I've probably watched it over a dozen times. I've shared it in coaching groups and other environments. And preparing for tonight, I was like, you know what? These two videos are very, very fitting for what I think you all need to hear right now of where you're at, because you are in control of your destiny and what you want to get out of this business and where you want to be. Only you. Nick.
Morgan Housel, he's an author. He wrote The Psychology of Money, and his most recent book is Same as Ever. Both are great books, but he had an interview with somebody, and the conversation was, most of our thoughts are unexamined. And he was saying that in the breath of a writer, because when you're a writer and when you publish things, every single word, every single sentence is examined. And so his point was, of course, we're not going to examine every single thought that we have every single day. That's impossible and exhausting. But, what would it look like if we actually, acknowledged the thoughts that we had, and hey, am I going down the right path or the wrong path with this level of thinking? So I think awareness is half the battle,
That's it. All right. The last part of the 6 personal perspectives is being accountable. You are either going to seek to understand, you're going to have acknowledges for the reality, you're going to own your results. There's nobody else to blame, right? This goes back into what he was talking about. This accountability chart, if you look at it, Rosella, you said it. Here's your black and red instead of black and white. Here's your negative thinking on the left and your positive thinking on the right, right? Oh, is it blurry again? All right, hang on. Let me refresh it after I play the video. That's my last video, so we won't have that problem again. I appreciate you. I just caught that. Thank you. While I get this straightened back up, any other thoughts on that real quick? And I'll have this back up in a second for you. Whoops. Oh, gotta fix it. Didn't click the button I wanted to click. There we go. All right. Is that gooder? No more blurry? Still blurry? No more blurry? Yes, good, bad, indifferent. All right, cool. Accountability. Accountability is where it's all at. It's the end of the entire thing. And again, if that video fits both of these for you. All right. All right. Come on, go away. There we go. That's what I want. I think we got some ahas out of that. Let's talk about some KW culture. So inside of our ecosystem at KW and inside your market centers, we've got multiple things. Did any of you guys participate in Red Day? We just had that happen, last week? I traveled to Arizona and Texas in a very busy aspect. I actually slept through Red Day by the time I got back. It was not fun. KW Cares, great resource. We're actually using it right now for agent in one of our market centers that had a sudden death, that we're reached out to KW Cares to get her some assistance. So all of our platforms that we have in there are actually very useful and very beneficial to you and your loved one as well. So who is familiar with the MVVBP, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives? You guys heard of this before? No? Yes, maybe, kinda, it's okay. So KW has missions, we have visions, we have beliefs. So here is our mission statement. Gary Keller has a personal mission statement. Wendy Papasan shared it with me in a class that I was with her on, and I not remember it for the life of me right now, but this would be KW's mission statement: to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. In order for you to reach your goals and the things you want, each of you should have a mission statement. As we move forward in this new world of the commission lawsuits and things like that. Oh, by the way, I didn't share this either. I'm actually the TCPA police. I'm the only person inside of Keller Williams that has an actual do not call TCPA course that I teach. So if you guys want it, tell your team leaders to reach out to me and I'll come teach it in your market centers. However, in order to have value to share, you got to know what your value is. I firmly believe figuring out what your value is starts with your mission. If it didn't, then why would we have missions as the first thing on here? So how many of you feel that you have a mission statement, what a mission statement is, and how many of you want to have a mission statement for your life? And this is for your life. It doesn't apply just to business. You can have one for your life. Madeline, you have a mission statement. I see I want one. I see some no's in here. Well, guess what? I'm such the amazing and kind person that you are going to build a mission statement right here, right now. How do you feel about that? Does anybody know who Jay Papasan is?
Oh, yes, that's great.
So his wife, Wendy, she did a class just for Keller Williams University trainers. It was like 6 of us on this call. And every time we went in a breakout room, guess who I had as a partner? Wendy. So guess who now has a mission statement who hasn't had one in almost 10 years? This guy. And it's all because of what Wendy did. I saw her at Mega Leadership 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned to her that I've been throwing this into some of our training sessions because it's the simplest and fastest way to build a mission statement. So everybody grab a piece of paper. The first thing I want you to think of and write a list. It can be a short list. It can be a long list. All right. Identify what you feel connected to. What topics are you drawn to, right? What really do you have passion about? What's important to you? What causes are you connected with and you feel about? What impact? What impact do you desire to have on others or on the world? You see, I got typos in my stuff. What impact do you want to make? What are your things? Just take a couple minutes, write a small list. Again, it can be a big list. It can be a small list. Just identify what you feel connected to. And it can be anything, right? Rosella, you had your spiritual aspect. I'm not judging it. Maybe it's a stone or a crystal, right? But it can go that nuclear, if you will, right? What are you connected to? What do you feel the most connected to? Now, don't overthink this. When I did this, I immediately went into overthinking and was like, I can't do that. I got to stop. And I kept it simple. I kept it to like one word. I didn't overcomplicate it in any way, shape, or form. So what do you feel connected to? Everybody got their list? Got a couple things on there? All right. Next, uncover your unique gift. What things come easy to you? What gives you energy and fuels you personally? Is there something you would enjoy doing even if you were not paid to do it? 20 years in the fire department as a volunteer, I didn't get paid to do it. I guess that fuels me a little bit. I don't know. That's just an example, right? I think every one of us has, and if we don't, we might want to search for it. There's something that we just absolutely really love to do. This was a really good one. I had a bunch of people really connect to this in one of my recent classes. If your creator came to you in a dream and told you that you were put on this earth for a specific purpose, what would they say it was? What's that purpose? And keep in mind, this is your unique gift. Don't compare it to somebody else. Don't worry about somebody judging it. This is about what you know about yourself. We're digging into ourselves right now to understand what we are, who we are, and how we do, and how we live our lives. What are your unique gifts? What would people say about you? It could be as simple as you're like the best listener. It could be anything. You might even give the best hugs. I don't know. I love the thoughts that are going on. I see some faces and they're just like in deep in thought here. This is good. All right, you got your list? All right, you ready to write your mission statement? Because that's it. The exercise is over. You ready to write your mission statement? Here we go. Write it out. The mission for my life is to. Write that out. And then you're going to pull from your first list. The mission for my life is to, and is to do something I have a passion for. So go back to your first list you created. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be. The mission for my life is to, and it's to do something you have passion for. And then you're going to write out by implementing or through or with, and then you're going to put your unique skill set in there. What's your gift? What's your talent that you possess that will help people get to that point? The mission for my life is to, by implementing through with, whatever that unique talent is. Who has a mission statement written out now? Terry Lynn? Ben? Kim, I think I saw your hand go up. How are we feeling about that mission statement? Catherine?
You want me to read it?
If you'd like, you more than welcome to share it. I'd love for you to share
All right,
it.
y'all ready?
What better way to hold you accountable to your mission statement than sharing it with others?
I sure will. The mission for my life is to help people reach their goals by implementing my knowledge, by teaching them and helping them identify their skills.
I love it. I love it. Anyone else want to share? You don't have to if you don't want to. It's your mission statement. Ben, what you got, buddy? See your hand up.
Story of my life is to buy and sell real estate by implementing my unparalleled communication skills.
Communication skills. I like that one. That's a good one. That works. Anyone else? Annie? Jerry Lynn, I'll get you next. That's you.
Oh, I wrote, the mission for my life is to leave all things that I work on better than they were before through care, thoughtfulness, and attention to detail.
I like that one. That's good. Jerry Lynn, what you got?
I'm gonna steal some of the people's some of their wording because I don't feel like my wording's still a little clunky. I'm
Listen,
always
your wording is your wording, and I would recommend you to keep your wording, because what's going to happen is you're going to develop this further over time. And if you guys revisit this mission statement every single day, you will make minor tweaks to it to where it truly is who you are. And then you're going to be able to build your value proposition off of this. So go ahead, Jeremy. We got.
Well, I just want to say, like, I am a mom. I almost was crying when you were saying, what would you, the maker, what would you, or, someone say to you? But,
It gets somebody every time.
I know, because I was like, being a mom, but I would say, like, I'm a mom to not just my kids, to like anywhere I work, to other people. But the mission in my life is to help others through connecting with people, through honesty, through communication, and through humor. And like, I would just say that that's one thing that, like, people said to me, what would people say about you? And they would say, like, I'm caring and I'm funny. Even though I'm not
Welcome
funny
to
right
the
now.
club. You're doing just fine. Trust me. Welcome to the club. Thank you for sharing. Jane.
Okay, so I have here, the mission for my life is to help others find purpose by teaching them to honor their voices.
Ooh, that's super short, and like, that's a powerful one. These are all really good mission statements. And I would encourage you all to continue to visit these mission statements on a regular basis, because this is where you're going to be able, this is where you're going to win clients. Having a mission statement of what your goal is, and then developing your value proposition around your mission statement, is how you're going to win in this market as we move forward. So thank you for everybody who's sharing, and I hope this was beneficial as building this out. And if you didn't get it done completely, don't stress over it and don't overthink it. Go back and revisit it and go through those steps, because you're going to figure out your mission statement, and it's going to make a difference to you, I promise. One of our others in here is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Some good stuff in the chat, guys. Really, like, I'm very grateful for all of you and your participation tonight. This is really good stuff. Our belief system. So we already did mission. Now we're on to our belief system, and this is our YC42Ts. That's a mouthful. It took me a long time to master that. YWI, 4 C's, 2 T's, and the T's is the E and the S. Don't you love that? Go ahead, practice that. I want you guys to say it 3 times fast. Go. So what that means is everything has to be a win-win or no deal. Nobody's to lose, right? And nobody really does lose. We just make compromises. We make everything work. Integrity, always do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communications, seek first to understand. I have not shared this with you guys yet, and this is probably one of the better places to do it, particularly in this course. I don't take a lot from social media that I remember. I think we all know social media is just a dumping ground for a lot of nonsense and for chaos, yet on occasions you get something good. There was something about 3 years ago or so that I saw on Facebook, and it said that we live in a world to where we listen to respond, and we are not listening to understand. We listen to respond, and we don't listen to understand. It is your job in this industry, it's our job in life, in my opinion, is to always listen to understand somebody. Because if we're not listening to understand, all we're doing is judging them, and we're just going to throw in our own thoughts and our own beliefs. If you go into a listing appointment or a buyer consultation and you're not going in to understand who they are, where they are, what they want, and then develop a plan to get them there, then you're not doing communications. You're not seeking to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. I'm very big. I just had a coaching session this morning, and the agent, he got the listing. He wasn't happy about how he got it, because he caved on a few things. He came from scarcity because he just wanted to get the listing. And I told him to be more honest about things. And it's okay to ask the hard questions, and be hard with our potential clients to Christopher in here dropping quotes. Look at this. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Stephen Covey. Christopher, I got to go back. Hold on. I just saw your name because you said something earlier and I want to make a comment about it. The enemy in our minds seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. That was back with the limited to beliefs. That I saw that earlier and I apologize for not commenting on it. I saw that. That was actually really good. I think it sums up that positive, negative thinking video like really super easy. Ooh. I clicked the wheel, folks, and the wheel moved everything. There we go. Let's get back to business here. Trust is honesty, of course. Equity, opportunities for all, and the success. Success results through people. One of the things I'll give you about success, and Nick, I think you mentioned something along those lines earlier, is the fact that if you focus on your activities versus the money's going to come. Who knows who Jeff Glover is? Or my Detroit people, my people up that way. All right, yeah, you got to know who Jeff is, right? So Jeff has a Gloverism, and Jeff's Gloverism is as soon as the commission check becomes more important than the client, you've already lost. I just call that stop chasing the commission, right? Because if you're not, if you just go and do what's right all the time, again, integrity, trust, right? Communications, seek to understand. If we go and do what's right, you're going to make the money you want to make. I promise you. Okay. I'm a little behind, guys. So technology, leverage what we have. I know command probably scares some of you, probably frustrates you more than anyone else. Don't talk bad about my technology, please. I'll do that all by myself. No, we're still building it. It's a baby. It's still growing. So the best thing you can do with any of our technology is make sure that you're in it every day. You're practicing with it every day, and you're staying up to date with any updates that come out and things that go on. All right. Thoughts, comments, excitement, joy, pain, sorrow from everything we've learned thus far. Jeff Glover is here. What is he with you right now? Where's Jeff? I'm actually going to see him Thursday because he's going to be here in Maryland. See the comment. Jeff Glover is here. Where's Jeff? Bring him on screen right now. Right now, if he's there. Don't forget all of our KWX companies as far as our mortgage abilities, our insurance, our Keller Offers. Keller Offers is an iBuyer. Who knows what an iBuyer is? Those are the people that just come in and pay cash. Oh, okay. You know Jeff. Everybody knows Jeff. Who doesn't know Jeff? Communities. This is big for you guys. I really wanted to hit this one because communities are huge. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. If that is purposeful and meaningful to you, if that was on your list, get involved with your DEI organizations, either within the market center, within the region, or within your local boards. Commercial, I do not steer people away from commercial, but commercial is its own beast and its own entity. And if you're going to focus on that solely, then focus on it solely. Otherwise, make the connections in commercial. Because how many of you know business owners? Like I know all the local restaurant owners where I am, like all of them, and the staff. It's bad. So make the connection with the commercial people, because those people that you know that run businesses might need places or need commercial assistance. So make friends with your commercial agents in your area. My folks that have land areas, I don't get a lot of land in Maryland. We have some, it's just not a super prevalent thing. Yet some of your jurisdictions, land is a big thing. Our West Coast group right now, because we have Ignite launching tonight on the West Coast. It starts in like an hour, 2 hours from now, or an hour from now. Out in the Midwest, they got a lot of land stuff. So maybe land's where you need to be. Luxury, you're high end. Anybody, former military spouses or anything like that in this group tonight? Check out your military aspects. Find the people in your market center that also are military, that are part of the military communities. Okay. To be part of the military communities, to be part of any of the communities, there are fees. If you just go to KW Connect, you can find the links to the communities. They're both like KW Land, KW Luxury.kw.com and things like that. But find the ones that mean anything to you. KW Young Professionals, I believe that's 30 and under or 35 and under. I forget the actual age range on that. Become part of that. It's about networking and finding like-minded people for you to be around that you can learn and grow from. Okay. Your vision, again, we did the mission, vision, and all that. So what's your vision for your future? You guys want to take a screenshot of this. It's in your workbooks. You should have gotten the links to the workbooks. If you want to take a picture of this, build your vision. Today is in one year from now, what are you going to look like? What is your business going to look like? What's going to go in your world? What's going to happen? The sooner you can figure out what that future looks like. Look, it goes back to setting those goals like we watched in that one video. Set that goal, set those priorities around those goals, put it on your calendar and put a time frame to it. Today is May 20th. So in 1 year from now, on May 20th of 25, what does your future look like? What is your business doing? What are you doing? Where are you at? Right? Figure out your vision. And now that you guys have a mission statement, you can actually help build this vision. Okay. Build your big life, set your goals. They want that one there. All right. Where your commission dollars go. So make sure you're tracking your income. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'm going to go over it on Thursday. We're actually going to set your goals inside of Command on Thursday, but I wanted to touch on it. You need to figure out where your commissions are going to go and break it up as far as your splits with your market center, your business expenses, saving for taxes, and how much you're going to take home. So this all breaks down and Command's going to do it for you. Here's a snapshot of what that mathematics looks like. If you have a net income of $100,000, then you got to do 20 transactions a year for the most part in this scenario. But we're going to work on you guys and you're going to work on your own goals, but we're going to do that on Thursday. All right. All right. If you guys don't mind, please and thank you, scan this QR code. We have a whole nother session to go through in like 20 minutes, but it's a shorter session. This was probably the most impactful one because it's about your mindset and everything like that, but we've got another one. And you're going to do another one of these QR codes. So if you scan this QR code, it's going to bring up the KW evals, or if you want, just go to kwueval.com. The type of event is going to be virtual. My name is in the instructor dropdown. However, there's 2 mats in there. I'm the better looking of the 2. The course session is Ignite Session 1, Spark Your Real Estate Career. If you guys would just take a couple minutes to fill that out. No, I have not gotten to the videos. I promise I will before we leave. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you guys a second to fill that out, and I'm going to go ahead and go grab those for you real quick, since you just reminded me. And then I'm going to go on to our last session for tonight. And our last session is going to be more around some goal setting and things like that. And like I said, I'm going to do a lot of that with you guys on Thursday. So you guys are a huge benefit for having me now and again on Thursday. All right, everybody get this QR code? Anybody else need it? I want to move on to the next thing, which is this one. While I wait for YouTube to load. Anybody have any thoughts, any ahas, anything they want to share from everything we've done thus far while I bring this stuff up? I'll bring the QR code back up for you in a second, Norman. Matter of fact, you're going to get it again after this because it's another session. So we collect them after each session. So you can do it a second time. You'll do it a second time. You just do it twice, one for each session, session 1 and session 3. If anybody wants to share anything real quick, go ahead and just come off mute because I got my screen blocked while I bring up these links for you guys real quick because I don't want to forget these. So if you raise your hand, I'm not going to see it. All right, the think positive, less negative is in the chat. And then are you interested or are you committed? Sean, no, you're not going to get PowerPoints on this. Yet the recordings will be made available for everybody later on. I'm just waiting for the share thing to pop up. Okay. So let's get into connect with your market. What does connect to your market mean? There we go. There's your second video. Sorry, that wouldn't load for some reason. What's connect to your market mean to you guys? I promise I'll get you out of here on time. Oops. Yeah, I see that. The link. I did not. I got you. I got you. Hang on. I got you. There you go. Now both links are there. Sorry. All right. So here's the truth. If it has been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it has been done, no matter where, it's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your world. So who has read or is reading the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? I see a Annie, I see a Tammy, I see a Ben, I see a Nick. I feel like I'm in Romper Room or something like that right now. So here's what you're going to get out of that. Myth number 2, it's one of my favorite myths from MREA, is it can't be done in my market. Anything can be done in any market. You just have to find a way to tweak it. So whether it's your lead generation methods, whether it's your lead aggregates, whether it's your Facebook ads, whatever it may be, it can be done. Just your demographics of where you're doing it at is a little bit different. Okay. So you need to make sure that you are focused on your market. And the only way to be able to make it work in your market is to know your market. So what does knowing your market mean? Oh, did I do the same video? Thank you. Wait a minute, really? I did the same video? Oh, I did. Hang on. Let's see if that's the right one. Nope. You're right. It's not letting me do the other one. All right, I'll get back to it. I promise I'll bring the other one up. Thank you for catching that. I didn't realize I did that. All right. So 3 types of real estate markets: buyer's market, balanced market, and the seller's market. What market are we in right now? And this is nationwide right now.
Seller's market.
We're in a seller's market. And who is starting to see a transition to a balanced market? Who's getting close to it? Who's starting to see time on market longer and things like that? Anyone? Or is everybody still pretty solid seller's market? All right. So your overall market, your state, your county, your township, whatever you live in, is a seller's market. How many of you are hyper focused on neighborhoods? Because I promise you, you're going to find neighborhoods that are balanced or starting to become buyer markets, little communities. So knowing your market is not just knowing what the state statistics are. It's about knowing your demographics of where you're going to do your business at, which includes knowing your inventory. What inventory is in the market? Average days on market, right? Average price on the home. Moving forward, I'm going to tell you, how many of you, some of you may not have done business, so I'm going to ask this question this way. How many of you have or plan to call every listing agent of a property that has sold when you're about ready to go on a listing appointment to find out how their listing went? Does that make sense? It's going to be very, very important, in my opinion, for you to do that moving forward. Why do you think one reason is? It's the biggest thing in the news right now. Commissions. Commissions. They're not going to be in your MLS anymore. So if you want to be able to go into a listing appointment and have a conversation on whether or not your seller should not recommend, don't recommend, however you're going to word that they offer a co-op, you need to know what everyone else has done in that area. Your competition has or has not offered, and what they have or have not offered has been X. So that's just an added thing. You're going to want to start finding out about your market and what's going on in the inventory. Interest rates, how big of a factor do interest rates play on our market? Huge, right? Buyer power depends on interest rates. So that's going to be another factor you're going to have to take into consideration. What are the interest rates? How is that impacting people's buying power? Economic factors. What's the employment, unemployment rate in your market? How many of you know? Have you even looked? Did you even think about it? Right? Are there any new businesses coming? Are there people leaving the area? Right? If you've watched the news, you've heard there's a lot of big corporations that are leaving California. How's that going to impact real estate market in California? Or maybe not all of California, but those pockets where those tech companies and stuff are like, I've had enough of this and we're going to get out because it's costing too much, whatever the case may be. So understanding what businesses are doing in your area are also going to help you identify a demographic you're going to target for your lead generation. And it's also going to help you have a better conversation, whether it's with a buyer or a seller. Other important factors that you want to check out: neighborhood numbers. So what are your nearby shops and restaurants? Who's familiar with NAR, RPR? Realtor Property Resource. I see one or two heads. Lydia's got a little nod over there. Okay. So RPR has a feature in it. By the way, I'm also certified to teach RPR. I just don't know when to stop. RPR has a feature in it when you do a map search, points of interest, and they've upgraded that points of interest. So if you want to market to people that have a preference for, like, I'll be honest with you right now, one of my target, it's not my targets, it's one I could target if I wanted to. Here in Frederick County, here in Maryland, I have the school for the deaf up in Frederick. And I had a lead not too long ago. Matter of fact, I got to follow up with it. They had a family member pass away, so I haven't been really pressing about it because I got to deal with that. Yet they wanted to move from where they are now out there to be close to the school for the deaf. If I knew sign language and that was my target audience, I might want to target those people and find out who can I bring that have children that need to be close to that school because they want to put their kids in that school. So what's nearby in your communities and your neighborhoods that is an attraction point that you can market to find buyers? Maybe even find sellers. Maybe a seller moved into a neighborhood and there was something that was there that's not there anymore that was a benefit. Maybe somebody has aged out of that neighborhood, that the benefits they need are no longer available in there. So Miss Brown, I see your hands up, and I got a couple other people. Sorry, that part of the screen was covered up. Jamela.
Hey,
Go ahead. You had your hand up.
I'm sorry. That was for the
Something else.
RPR.
Okay. Nick, you got your hand up. You want to add?
No, yeah, I just want to double click on that because, as far as, knowing your market and understanding your market, it's very much the what and the where, but it's also the who. So I would challenge, anyone who would accept it is to have a sense, maybe even write down what your client avatar is. Are you wanting to work with first-time home buyers? Are you wanting to work with veterans? Do you want to work with trade-up buyers, meaning they're first-time home sellers or second-time home sellers and they want to upgrade, or downsizing, right? This is all the same conversation and it all weaves into how you want to run your business. I think a myth is that we need to be everything to everyone, and I don't know that that's true. So I'm just saying maybe have clarity and write down like, all right, who is my ideal client? And then from there, that'll connect to your market. That's another layer to connecting to your market.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you, sir, because you need to have your niche. I saw somebody put it in the chat earlier. What are your 2 or 3 things you're really going to focus on, right? That is going to bring you the business. Do we need to be able to service all clients coming along? Yes, but keep in mind strengths and weaknesses. I might not be able to service them personally, yet I know somebody that can service them better than I can. So don't chase a commission check and not service somebody fully to their needs just because you want a commission. It's okay to pass it off. We get paid on referrals, folks, right? Lady Angela. Sorry, it was there, girl. I got to do it.
No, that's fine because you're not the only one that calls me that. Where do you find out what's going on in your neighborhood? I mean, where do you go to look for that information?
So you're going to go to your MLS, do a lot of this research. Your MLSs should have plenty of resource aspects. So here in Maryland, DC, Virginia, West Virginia, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, I think that's all my areas. Bright MLS has smart charts and a few other aspects. And I would also encourage you to look at RPR. RPR has great reports that you can pull for a particular neighborhood, and it will give you a lot of stats. It will also tell you the top careers in a neighborhood. So it's pulling Census Bureau information and stuff like that. So RPR is a great resource to find out a lot of that information.
So RPR, you find that from like MLS, teaches that?
NAR, Market Stats NA. The website is narrpr.com. And as long as you have your NERDS number, you can actually get in there and create an account. It is free from the National Association of Realtors, and it has a lot of stuff inside of it. So
could you repeat that one more time? The website.
It's in the
again?
chat.
NAR?
It's in the chat.
Okay.
It's in the chat. narrpr.com. I promise I'll get the other video, guys. I promise. All right. So 4 steps to building your expertise, making sure you're a market. Nick kind of hit on it. You got to learn your clientele, right? Learn your market first. What I'm going to recommend you guys do, particularly dual career, is every chance you get, every chance you get, you want to be out previewing homes. Now, in my market, and I don't know if all MLSs have this, in my market, when I schedule a showing, I can actually status it as an agent preview. That way, the listing agent knows I'm just viewing it and I don't have a buyer interested in it. I typically put in the comments that I'm checking it out for comp purposes, like I got a house, maybe it's coming on the market or whatever the case may be. So I'm kind of checking it out to compare it to others. Preview homes on a regular basis, 5 to 10 a week. Open houses. And when you get into those open houses, start looking at the neighborhoods and seeing what's going on in the neighborhoods and really understand the neighborhoods that you want to work in, right? You don't have to understand every neighborhood, understands the one you want to work in. You need to have a general idea what's going on overall, yet your primary focus is you're going to focus on that. Listen to individuals, keep the headlines in context. I'm going to get to that. This is probably one of the big ones. Well, let me hit this real quick. So know who your buyers are, know who your sellers are. What that means is know who you're working with. Like Nick said, you're going to work first-time home buyers. Are you working with seniors who need a downside, retirees, things like that? Does the market benefit your client? I'm going to tell you a very unpopular thing right now. I already told you guys I'm not your typical trainer. It's okay not to sell somebody's house. It's okay not to sell somebody a house. If you don't believe that's in the best interest of them based on what you've learned about them, you're probably going to get more respect and more business from referrals and their future business if you have the conversation of, this might not be the right time for you. I will be here when it's your time. I want to make sure you're comfortable with what's going to happen, and run numbers, do all. It's okay to do that. That transparency and that honesty are going to get you way more business than you going and putting somebody in a house and then regretting it 2 years later. I have a couple right now that they were absolutely ready, willing, and able to buy a house. Unfortunately, life came along and it's not even 2 years, and I have their house in the market right now as a short sale. And that's not because we did anything wrong. It's just life happened to these guys, right? Yet we're getting them through it. They're already out in Arizona. He's already in some school thing through the GI Bill that's helping them out. And I got their house under contract. I'm just waiting for the bank to approve it. So we're doing good. Yet if I would have dug deeper, could I have seen possibly this happening? Probably not. This was just a job loss situation that happened, unfortunately. So that goes back to what this says also about, does the market put your clients at risk? Listen to individuals, take grassroots approach, learn where your sphere gets information. So this feeds right into keep the headlines in context. One of the big ones right now is commissions. So don't get lost in the hype of all the headlines out there that buyer compensation's going away, that all this stuff is happening. Actually dig in it, do your research, be educated about it, and be able to have the conversation with your clients, because that's the reason they come to us, is that we are the expert and we are the educated one. So make sure that we're having those conversations like that. Competence equals confidence. I like that. That's very good. And know your numbers. And what that means is know your numbers, know your market center numbers, and know your regional area numbers. And in other words, what is your average sales price? How many clients have you served, buyers and sellers? What has your market center done? What has your region done? How do you compare to other agents? How does your market center compare to other agents? One of the biggest things I get as a coach is agents are afraid of the question of, how long have you been in the business? I immediately went looking for the screen to see how many of you got scared right now when I asked that question. How long have you been in the business? Look, Catherine's over there like, yep. Guess what? It's okay. It is perfectly okay to have that question answered. Be ready for it. Anybody know who Phil M. Jones is? Another book for you. Are you ready? Phil M. There you go. Thank you, Desiree. Right there. Phil M. Jones, exactly what to say for real estate agents. There's a virtual event coming up for $250 you can attend. It's only a $6,000 course. You got to go to New York and have him teach it to you. He's doing a one-day session for $250 that we have access to. Now, Desiree, I'm going to challenge you, because I'm going to tell you, put that book down and go get the other one. If she brings out the other book, I'm going to die. So that exactly what to say for real estate agents was written after his general book of exactly what to say. I would tell you read exactly what to say, then read exactly what to say for real estate agents, because it talks about the psychology around what to say to people and how to say it. So, the magic of words. There you go. I like that one too. So make sure that we're having the right conversation with the right people. And
can you just repeat the author's name one more time? I'm sorry.
Phil, I'll put it in the chat for you. Phil M. Jones.
And Matt, this book,
Awesome,
Magic
thank you.
Words, this one is the one he wrote for kids.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't even know he wrote that one, but I like the name of it. Okay, that'll work. I like that. Lori, you got your hand up. She's just waving hi to everybody.
Can you, and one more, that Sean, you had, I know Carol DeWitt, and then you mentioned Sean something. I couldn't catch
Sean
it.
Aker.
Aker, that's what it is. Thank you.
Yep. The Happiness Advantage is another really good book. So, all right. So throughout Ignite, here's your homework, basically, okay? These are your daily habits and daily practices you need to focus on when you're doing things. So daily success system involves having 10 conversations a day. So speaking to 10 new people every single day. Adding 10 new contacts to your database. So this is getting out of your comfort zone. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Add 10 new people to your database every day. Send 10 handwritten notes every day. Now, I don't care if this is new people, maybe it's your friends, your family, but send handwritten notes, because who doesn't like getting something in the mail unless it's a bill? The other one is the 10-5-1 social media engagement, which is what this is right here. Every day you should be going in and you should be putting 10 likes on post, hearts, thumbs up, whatever it means, 10 interactions on a post. You also should be writing 5 comments a day. So that means you're actually going in, and here's the key to this one. So in order for you to be seen, hold on, before I pause, let me take a step back, because I kind of forget to say this sometimes. If you are not a social media guru and love social media, it's okay. You don't have to do it. Find other ways to get in front of people. Okay. Normally, you raise your hand, you're not a social media person at all. If you're not a social media person, don't force yourself to go do this. You're going to hate it, and you're not going to do it. And it's going to turn you off to everything else that's out there, right? Less negative thinking, more positive thinking. Find other ways to get in front of people. If you are a social media person and you like being on social media, then make sure you're going and commenting on 5 different people's posts a day. Go find, we all know we see the same 25, 30 people in our feed. Go seek out other people that you haven't seen in your feed for a while and write a comment. If you do that, the algorithm in the social media says, hey, Matt and Annie like each other. Let's get them in front of each other more. I'm going to start showing up on her feed. She's going to start showing up on mine. So if you're interacting with somebody's post, the algorithm says you need to see more of their stuff, which means when I'm posting real estate stuff, more people are going to see it than the same 25 to 30 people a day. Does that make sense? Nick, what do you got?
Yes, so I just want to double click on that. So a lot of times when we think about lead generation, we think about time, meaning like, hey, I'm going to time block 2 hours a day, or I'm going to time block 3 hours a day, every single day, and it's going to be awesome. And you know, that's great. And if we're dual career, if we're just starting out, you know, maybe you associate it with number of real estate conversations you have. In other words, instead of time, why don't we equate that to conversations? So instead of 3 hours a day, why not 10 conversations or 5 conversations? The reason is that we can't improve what we don't measure, right? And so 5 conversations a day, 5 days a week, what's that, right? Times that by however many days you do in a week, and then it amplifies and it adds, right? So because maybe in that 3 hours, maybe you're checking your email, maybe you're, you know, scrolling on Facebook, right? Whereas 5 real estate conversations a day, that's real, it's measurable, and you can improve that once you get acclimated to 5, and then it's 10, and then maybe it's 15, and then maybe it's 20, right? But again, we don't go from 0 to 20, right? We start small, let it build, let it compound, and then go from there, right?
That's it. That's it. Somebody asked for some of these books. I just put them in there. If you guys have, Phil. And then the other one is direct messages. So keep in mind, when we're lead generation, it's not always about calling our SOI and doing all those other things. Sometimes it's talking about the people we don't speak to on a regular basis. And a lot of our data, we forget. How many databases do you guys have? Let me ask that question. How many databases do you guys have?
I honestly have my phone contact, and that's pretty much probably my best database.
Limiting belief, David, and I appreciate you jumping in though and answering that. And here's why I'm going to tell you that. No, and this is the mindset of everybody. It's my phone, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have Facebook.
Yes.
You have Instagram.
Well, I'm sorry. Aside from the Instagram and Facebook, correct? Yes.
Do you have Twitter?
Yes.
Do you have TikTok? Do you have Snapchat? Do you have LinkedIn? I mean, I can go through them all, because I promise you the number of people you have on all those social media platforms, they're not all on your phone. because we have relationships that are not solidified because we don't have contact information. We have more than one database, and that's where the direct messaging comes in. So make sure that we're direct messaging on a regular basis. Add that to your lead generation aspect.
Noted.
Okay. All right. QR code, that's it. That's all what that session was. We knocked that out pretty quick. I want to keep you guys on time. And then I'm going to get rid of this thing. So if you guys would do another survey for me, I have to have so many surveys in order to keep my certification. So the more surveys I get, I appreciate it. There is a spot in there, by the way, when you do it, there's a box. Once you do the scale of 1 to 5, which looks like Jamal is rating me a 3. I don't know what that meant, but okay. I'm kidding, by the way. There's a box down on the bottom of that for comments. I'd love to get feedback from you on what you liked, what you took away, what you're going to implement, something like that, and any suggestions you may have for me with regards to improving my presentation skills and abilities, what you like, what you don't like. You know, any of those number of different things like that are fine. So I'm going to leave this up. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to go pull that other video again real quick. And give me some ahas, some takeaways. What's some big things that you guys are like, wow, this was great? Or I'll be honest with you, this is recorded. You can tell me if you didn't like something. I'm okay either way. Just give me a couple ahas and a couple things that you guys were like, this is good stuff. Your key takeaways.
I feel better. I feel calmer.
I like that.
I don't feel as stressed.
Thank you. That's a good one. I actually really like that one. Don't judge my YouTube. You guys are looking at it right now. All right, I'm going to take it off. I don't want you judging that. No, I'll put it back. It's just scammer payback. Cracks me up every time. And a bunch of tech stuff. What else? Who's got something else? Thank you for that. RPR, Roselle, that's the, look, again, some of us are certified to teach it. If you guys need training in your market centers, talk to your leadership, have them reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to come and help out in any way I can. And RPR is a fun one. So Annie, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really like that last part because it's actually kind of a challenge. 10 new conversations, 10 new contacts, something that I think each one of us can walk away with. And it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Solid challenge.
Correct. And the goal is, before I hit send on this video, you guys got the, are you interested in versus are you committed video, right? That was the one I put in the chat. You didn't get this one, correct? Okay, cool. So, all right, so there's that one for you. Thank you for that. And yes, I agree. Everything's challenging. Everything's challenging because of our mindset and where we put it and where we prioritize it. Don't get me wrong, life gets in the way. Life happens. There's nothing wrong with life happening. You guys have jobs, you guys have family, relationships, friends, life to live, kids, sporting activities, band practice, whatever it may be. Yet building the plan and committing to the plan is what's going to change your life. And that's why I played that first video, because that's what it's all about. Like, are we really interested in this? Are we like committed? What are you really committed to do? So just have the conversations. And, oh, and keep in mind, I like to say this, you don't have to sell real estate every time. We have a philosophy of care calls. So when you're reaching out to people, sometimes it's just a factor of going, you know, hey, Joshua, saw on Facebook, you took vacation down to, you know, the Bahamas or whatever it may be. And I just, hey, how'd it go? Like, that can be the contact. It doesn't have to be real estate, because the number one thing you have to keep in mind is we need to be top of mind to all these people, because in this industry, the consumer, NAR's numbers are like 87% or something like that. 87% or so of people use the real estate agent they first come in contact with. So if I'm the one that happens to be at the grocery store and I hear them talking to somebody else and I say something to them, that could be the moment that I get them, yet they're your neighbor and you didn't even know it because you're not top of mind. So who else?